So, we're fighting immortals from the stars now? Looks like it. What's next? Wizards from the moon?
Beta's so frustrating. I don't get how she can be so negative all the time. I mean, we're clones of the same woman, and yet... she couldn't be more different from Elizabeth.
Place looks nice with some green in it.
The weapons of the Old Ones were powerful indeed. But... Aloy, well met. We've been briefed on our mission, and are ready whenever you wish to head to Cauldron Gemini. Personal.
What do Tenakth do to relax? You know, to take a break from training?
We play Strike. Your Oseram friend, Aaron, although he has yet to beat me. It helps one think strategically. Hones the mind for tactics.
Somehow that still sounds like Have you spoken?
The Quen is peculiar. Her mind is sharp, that much is certain. But it's hard to imagine her surviving in the wild.
Trust me.
I will take your...
Found anything interesting during your training?
Gaia told me where to find data on how wars were waged in the old world. I knew the Ten fought against machines, much as we... But it seems they were among... Later, as they... At least the Tenakth have the courage to put their lives on the line when... Yes, of course.
How are your studies going?
I wanted to learn more about the world of the Old Ones.
And?
I looked up this pharaoh Gaia said you went looking for, and learned about the plague of machines here. To think that the ancient world was wiped out by... There is no glory or honor in such a fate. Only hubris.
That about sums it up. Anything else you've been looking at with...
Gaia showed me the... knowledge. I am no chaplain, but I'd be curious to test...
What is it?
The Old Ones believed one could hear the great waters, even in the middle of the day. If you carried the carcass of a water animal with you, they called them sea...
That sounds... kind of gross. You said there was something you wanted to talk about?
I've been speaking with Gaia. She mentioned that the Zeniths bind metal with flesh to make themselves stronger. I was wondering if you'd help me do the same.
You want to make yourself a new arm?
Yes. Gaia insists she can help me build such a if I can get the necessary data and material. She believes these things lie in the place where Beta...
Their ancient research lab.
I am not as familiar with old world machinery as...
It might be dangerous. We were lucky to get out of there alive.
I see.
It sounds like this is...
By the 10 we shall...
I have to...
Then do not...
I'll call you when I'm near the Zenith lab. We'll...
Thank you.
There's Quen stuff in here now. Must be all of us.
I'm quite certain that it's a unique situation.
I know that. But if there was two of me walking around, I'd run for the hills and never look back. Come on, I'm being serious. So am I.
So much lost knowledge, now found. Aloy!
Right to work, I see.
There's just so much. I mean, we knew of artificial beings that served the ancestors, but Gaia? Oh, she's amazing! And you, a true reincarnate, genetically speaking, of course, not like. And there's more ancestors out there. Of course, they're trying to. And Eric Visser is with. And then there's Hephaestus. And.
Okay. How about we take it one step at a time?
You're right. I also.
I imagine you don't know anyone here that well yet, but.
It's funny because one of your friends is, well, another you. Not that you are the same person. I mean, you are, as in, you're both. But even so, you're different.
Yeah. I hope everyone's been.
Oh, yeah, of course. They share the knowledge they learn on their focuses with each other. It's refreshing. Back home, diviners can only share data with the permission.
Sounds restricted.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
I see you've been using your new focus.
It's been fascinating. So much. What would have taken me with this, I've been able to establish this could revolutionize how diviner. That is, whatever part of it the overseers would.
You want
A diviner has never. But I was sent here to help you. Maybe it'll help the Quen find their way back to the path of.
You mentioned Eric Visser? How do you know about him?
The Zenith who tried to kill you? He is known to the Quen as the Protector. Combing through data related to his work led us to related to weapons and knowledge our rulers use to conquer and expand. That's why he's one of our most revered ancestors. But based on Yorn, it appeared yet another.
Well,
If
Beta mentioned other Zeniths. Tilda, Verbena, and Gerard.
I'm afraid I don't know. Whatever legacy they left.
You mentioned the reason you came here was to help.
Her name is Alika. When I passed the divination, it brought honor to.
Why?
Not even.
Sounds.
Like the focus. Well, last. Because. But. Yes and no. Those whose legacy warfare.
This.
Right. Well, one. That's how we are. He was an at peace, and he took a whom.
Tech.
In fact, so across. If only. Perhaps the Emperor declared that all the does, and the Emperor, one who wields the legacy. It may seem strange. We really believe. We had no idea.
Back.
Diviners are meant, and many impurity empire, but detriment like that only over. It ensures that any heretic.
What? What happened?
We and that once and we, but he became and you, but he,
What?
The Quen, but principal. But I can't to.
Yeah. I need.
All the plan. It will help set.
I hope so.
Then.
If you keep frowning that hard, you'll get wrinkles. it together later. Have a conversation about it.
I'd like that.
There she is. Heard you had an interesting time at Thebes.
Maniacs, lava. What's not to like?
I'll remember that next time I go.
At least I got what we needed to trap HEPHESTUS.
Good thing I got my gear ready then.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but I just.
Yeah. You look tired?
Ha! You never want to hold back, are you? I've just been making sure that I got everything down for this mission of yours. I wouldn't want to be the usual screw-up out there.
You'll do fine, Errand. You been looking at any interesting data?
I asked Gaia to find me something to look at a while back, and she found the mother of all forges. They called it sports. Turns out the old ones spent a lot of time tackling and punching each other for points in one game or another. Are you mixing some solid food and fresh ale? I bet half the claim will be lining up to watch.
What else?
Yeah, Gaia showed us everything that happened when you went to get that Poseidon thing. I mean, this Moreland guy seems pretty smart. Though, risking the Tanakh clan lands for a light show is a bold move.
Maybe I should check up on them at some point. Just in case.
Right.
Howard?
Oh, actually, I had to fill in most of the conversation, but I'm still...
Glad to hear it. Have you spoken with all?
Yeah, when she's not reading the archives like a giddy kid drinking... she took to that new focus quick. I gotta say, I'm a little... But I can see why you two...
I should get going. I'll give you the heads up.
From the look on your face, I'd say the mission
I got Omega clearance.
as soon as you give
I see all of us settled in.
our new Quen friend, the moment she laid eyes on the archives, she jumped on them like a...
Yeah, that's Alva for you. This mission isn't gonna be. Hope you haven't been slacking off on.
And risk Zoe coming after me? At least you found the Omega clearance.
Wish that was the only thing I found. I knew finding Thebes would lead me to Ted but I never imagined he'd end up like he did.
How bad was...
Bad.
He destroyed the world and crawled into a hole after killing those who saved it. If you ask me, he deserved whatever he got.
That he did. Once Gaia is back up and running, I expect you to put all your training to good use.
The seeds have been planted. What? I thought that...
I'm glad you and Zoe found it.
Don't forget,
Now that I have Omega clearance, we can grab HEPHESTUS and finally have the advantage over the Zeniths.
can't wait to see their faces as they stare down a bunch of charging
Better them than us. I should go get this to Gaia.
Of course. Let us...
Welcome back.
Good to be back. Have you met?
I could barely keep up as she gave herself a tour of... Varl gave her a new focus. Though when he told her she was free to access all the... She turned so pale, I thought... We showed her to the archive room so she could... She hasn't left the place since.
Sounds like Alva.
About those Grimhorns we were hunting.
To fix.
Thank you.
You and Varl doing okay?
We're doing fine. Although I admit it'd be nice to take a... But then who...
There's always Katalo.
Leave a loud Oseram with a brooding... What could go wrong?
What's everyone been up?
I've been trying to share some of my meals with Beta. Thought it might help her feel more at home. Maybe even get her to sleep up here instead of in that dark basement. She would not be moved.
I appreciate.
Patience reaps the best harvest.
How are things with everyone?
Slightly quieter. Aaron's been busy scouring data on his newest obsession. Apparently the old ones wrestled machines, as called it metal versus meat.
Read anything interesting?
I found out the old ones used leaf infusion. Apparently it helped that and some sort of cleanse their... I think.
Varl looks...
He's been obsessing over the data revealed to us by Poseidon. Just the other day, we read about mountains hiding deep underwater that spew fire. If I understand correctly, Gaia said the flames they release come from the very center of the Earth. Like a heart. As always, the cycle can be found. Of course, Varl's mostly interested.
I assume you've been looking into Demeter now that Gaia's merged with it?
Yes. To know that the seeds I carry in this came in turn from the seeds saved for Demeter in the... It gives me hope that the cycle of life...
About the land gods.
We need to kill 2 Grimhorn. I sent their location.
Got it. I need to get going.
Right. That means we'll be going after Hephaestus soon.
Some of them ate dinosaurs.
Welcome back.
Drone's reconnected now.
Error. Drone offline. Error. Data missing. Error. Drone feed disconnected. Error. Drone feed disconnected. Error. Data missing. An excellent choice.
Aloy, I know your experience in thieves. The problem is Hephaestus itself. It has accelerated its proliferation throughout the Cauldron network, increasing its power.
But with your sub-functions restored, we can still succeed, right?
Correct. But the net effect is that absorbing Hephaestus will take longer than previously calculated.
How long?
Even with Omega clearance, my current estimate is that the merge will take 35 hours.
And each hour increases the risk of detection by the Zeniths. Two cores. Two overrides. What if the merge were carried out by two clones of Elizabeth Sobek, both armed with Omega clearance? How long then? Half the time?
Hephaestus would be unprepared for the simultaneous labor of two operators, in addition to obvious synergetic efficiencies. Calculating. It would reduce the merge time to approximately 4.5 hours.
Okay. Varl, it looks like we're gonna need Beta at Gemini. Do you think you can convince her?
I don't know, but I'll try.
What about our diversion? Are the pulse generators ready?
Only a final test remains. I am confident that if fired in proximity to other cauldrons, the pulses will mask our activities at Gemini from the Zeniths.
Good. As long as Aaron can operate one without shooting himself in the face.
Aloy, you better get down here. Beta's in bad shape.
Okay.
Aloy, I believe...
I know. I just wanted to talk about something else first.
As you wish.
Have you been able to make use of Demeter's functions?
Yes. I was able to mitigate most soil conditions and restore. You should notice less rampant plant growth.
Maybe that'll give Plainsong's fields a chance to...
Unfortunate, recovery in that area is unlikely. Without the assistance of the I have discussed this matter with Zoe. I believe...
Yeah. I'm helping... So, Poseidon spent the last 20 years hiding out in Las Vegas. From the data I found, it seems the city had an advanced water reclamation system. Is that why Poseidon went there?
Most out a safe harbor where it could access water supply there, buried and encased in a protective dome, it could guard against any threat.
Like 3 Oseram showmen?
I suspect that was not the first time it felt.
Why did Aether take up residence in an ancient war museum?
As with the other subordinate functions, Aether needed to install itself on a processor with adequate storage and power. The one in the museum appears to have been sufficient, given that the holographic displays were still active.
So Aether was assured it could stay for as long as it needed to.
Correct. Though it is curious that it chose a place surrounded with the ancient ruins of aircraft.
Maybe it also felt at home there. So, once Hephaestus has been recovered and merged, you'll regain the capacity to mass-produce machines at cauldrons around the world.
Yes, and to program their behavioral routines, or even control them directly.
So you could build an army of machines. Attack the Zeniths and take them out.
It is in my nature to take any and all necessary steps to preserve life on Earth, human life above all. So yes, once I have been empowered with the capacities of Hephaestus, I could design, build, and command such an army. Given the nature of the far Zenith threat, doing so may be our only option. I must admit, however, that I have misgivings about using such technology to kill, no matter how aggressive the enemy.
That's good. It means you have a conscience. As Elizabeth intended.
Indeed.
The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on the 2nd of February, 2066, by order of Ted Faro.
Ted. Guess he got what he deserved, in the end.
Yes. An igneous conclusion to his pathological narcissism, impulsive tendencies, and instability.
All 3 of the missing functions have already served their purpose, or were prevented from doing so. Do you still need them?
Restoring their remaining elements would increase my heuristic processing density, empowering my overall function. Unfortunately, as we now know they are in the possession of Far Zenith, attaining them in the short term is very likely impossible.
I guess our best shot at recovering them is by taking over the Zenith base. But we'll need HEPHESTUS and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Correct.
So from what I guess we can assume the Zenith's technology is powerful and also—
Yes. As your encounters with, they appear to make extensive use. Further, they seem to be an energy field that shields them from harm.
They seemed indestructible, but—
Throughout history, every defensive technology has eventually been defeated by an offensive counterpart. While we lack the anti-shielding weapon, were I to absorb HEPHESTUS and utilize it to create a large— no shielding could withstand such—
So there's hope.
Always.
The extinction signal didn't just wake Hades. It made every subordinate function self-aware. Why?
I have wondered this myself. So far as I can tell, Hades was the soul, and the partial sentience imparted to other subordinate functions was incidental.
A signal that precise would require thorough knowledge of the system. How could the Zeniths know that?
From the records on your— it appears Far Zenith had an informant during the
Hank Shaw. He was— but Elizabeth and Travis Tate caught him first.
Yes. It is likely Far, despite his—
Gaia?
Her presence is interwoven with my— We exchanged greetings. Name. It was the first of many listening to her stories.
Your friend.
Yes, though I am glad
She was okay with that. Thanks, Gaia. So Gemini has 2 data cores. But you mentioned something about seismic activity?
When my predecessor, construction was just the data core, so a second core was built.
Lucky for us.
No, though they did also create—
So I, found Thebes. What do you think Ted would have done if his life extension treatments had worked?
It seems he convinced himself it was his duty to guide future humans, given the tribal nature of new humans, and his ability to use Omega clearance on the terraforming system. I imagine he would have convinced 1 or more tribes to worship him as their patriarchal deity.
Okay. There was one other underground facility that was sealed before the Pharaoh Plague reached Elysium. The place where Zero Dawn staff and their families went to live out their lives. Do you know what happened to it?
Elysium was designed to provide life. My data indicates the facility—
Did the Pharaoh Plague find them?
Unknown. My connection to—
There's something I've been wondering. How could Ted Faro create a clearance level higher than Alpha? Elizabeth made sure he wouldn't interfere with the project.
It is plausible he tasked his own engineers with to the Zero Dawn system, without Elizabeth's knowledge. My predecessor did not even know of it until he activated it to purge the... It is, in effect, a blind spot. One that will allow us to subdue...
How's Alva settling in?
As soon as she arrived, Alva was a particular file, information about a machine assistant devoted. I informed her that once I am empowered with the... I may be able to design...
I'm sure she'll... So...
As you wish. We now know that Hephaestus will...
Which is why I got Ted Farrow's Omega clearance.
Correct. While you were gone, when we get to Gemini, I will need to be installed on one of the facilities. The second core is for Hephaestus.
And then you'll be able to...
Not quite. You will need to manually remove Hephaestus's malicious code.
How long will that take?
Because the work will be split between you and Beta.
And during that time, the others...
Correct. They will each take position at... The energy surge should mask our activities
and then we'll have everything we need to defeat the Zeniths. I'll be on my way.
I wish you safe.
Sneakers that weren't used for sneaking.
Aloy. I tried, but it's impossible. I don't think any...
We don't have a choice.
Good luck.
Beta, you have to come with us. It's the only way. It's one mission. The most important one. We need you. Tell me why you won't go. What if they take me back? Alone, in a cell again. Their slave. Forever. Varl and I will be at Gemini too. I'll protect you. As soon as we get Hephaestus, we'll come straight back here. The Zeniths aren't going to find us. You don't have to be afraid. No! You can't protect... I told you from the beginning, we'll never beat them! Beta. Leave me alone! You don't understand! You're right. I don't understand. We have the same genes, the same mind, the same heart. So why can't you find the strength to do what has to be done? Like Elizabeth would. Don't you think I've thought about that? I don't know what piece of Elizabeth I'm missing. I don't know what you have that I don't. I look through all the data from your focus. You were raised as an outcast. What's my defect? Beta. You don't have a defect. Beta. It's not a piece of... The difference is, Frost. He raised you, trained you, but he was never... The day he died, the day he gave you that charm, he was going to abandon... He wanted me to embrace the tribe. He loved me. It's still there. Even now I hear him in my head when it looks impossible. Look deeper. And then fight. You don't have to go on the mission. We'll find another way. I'll go. You said you'd try to protect me. But you have to promise me one thing. Yes, of course. If it goes bad, if the Zeniths find us, I don't want to be their slave again. Okay. Promise? I promise. I could use as much time as you can give me to study up on the merge, to make it as efficient as possible. I'll be ready when you are. I swear.
final preparations for the mission.
Hey, I just want...
I am. Is there...
What else can you tell me about Tilda?
She... liked to talk about her painting.
So how goes studying up on the merge?
Guy and I have added a function that will display a holographic interface to visualize the data stream from HEPHESTUS. It should make expunging its malicious code a little more efficient.
That's great. Whatever we can do to cut down the merge time is going to increase our chance of success. Good work.
Okay, but whenever you're ready. I am too.
Alva's joined us. Have you two had a chance to talk?
She told me she's not allowed to access a lot of the data her people have. Similar to the restrictions I had in my training interface. I told her that if we succeed at Gemini, then once we return, I'll help her search for more ways to help her family. Even though Gaia will fix the I want to help speed things up.
How so?
Bioengineering of more resilient plant strains, novel crop production methods, something that might help in the short term.
I'm sure she'll appreciate it. So when you talk to the others, are you calling them over the focus?
No, they'll come down here to visit. Like Erend. He's funny. But loud. I wish I could show him the media portal and the data channel. I think he would like the sports hollows. There was one where two people would criticize each other before wrestling to see who was stronger. It was bizarre and violent, but I think Erend would enjoy it.
Yeah, you're right. I bet he would. So when you talk to the others, are you calling them over the focus?
No, I wish I could show him the media portal. I think they're it was...
Yeah? Talk to you later, Beta.
Bye, Aloy.
Looks like the old ones used their focuses to send all kinds of messages back in the day.
Hey, I thought I'd check in before leaving for Gemini.
Are you sure we should? Whatever. Not that I'm judging. Forge knows all the.
I think we'll be fine.
I'm glad to hear.
I should.
That same.
Hello again, Aloy. Hello, Aloy.
So,
Yes. I am continuously impressed by the complexity of human relationships. Despite the unpleasant circumstance, I am pleased to see you have both found an...
Well, two heads are better than one, right?
Yes. Are you ready to depart for Cauldron? Or we can continue our conversation.
So, about Beta. I never really saw the difference between us until now.
You have both endured many different in almost every respect. Yet equally, I like to think of you as two miracles, born of...
Three, then. Let's not forget about you, Gaia. When I set out to find a way to bring you back, I never thought we'd be here, like this. Among friends.
They have all come a long way with their improvised educations. Varl has suggested that one day we might extend this model to more tribal inhabitants, once the biosphere has been stabilized.
Yeah, that's not such a bad idea. As long as you're the one running the lessons. So what will happen to this place while we're at Gemini?
All systems within this facility will continue to operate. As Minerva will no longer be masking this location, the facility will be exposed to detection. Though without my presence, it is unlikely to attract attention.
Let's hope so. Gaia?
Listening.
You're...
Yeah.
Thank... Aside, there was one other underground facility that was sealed before the Pharaoh Plague reached it. Elysium. Do you...
Listening.
You're...
Yeah. Though I...
She was so... Thanks, Gaia. Okay, people. It's time to head out.
I'll get everyone together.
All right, connections in place. Booting up.
Beta, Aloy. I am fully installed on this core and ready to connect to the Cauldron network.
It's good to hear your voice. Errand, everyone. Fire your pulses and sound off.
I'm at my cauldron. This thingy, it's blinking. Did I do it right?
In position at my cauldron. My pulse generator is blinking also.
That means they're working. I'm in position, and mine is too.
Mine as well.
Okay. Radio silence until I give the all clear. Signing off. Gaia, let's cage the beast.
Connecting to the Cauldron network now.
Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance. Elizabeth Sobek, Alpha Prime, activating Omega clearance.
Clearance confirmed. Initiating containment sequence.
Critical threat detected. Imperative escape containment. Applying countermeasures.
Lock it down!
Terminating external connections.
It's working! It's got nowhere to go!
Capture imminent. Initiating contingency 13F.
Wait, what's that?
Malware detected. Attempting to compensate.
Containment on
It's cracked.
Look!
Facility activated. Engaging autonomous defenses. Directive neutralize.
That means machines are on their way.
Here they come!
Varl, stay here. Protect Beta.
Time. Got it.
Be careful. Wasn't enough.
Let's do this! Aloy, here's some ammo! Can you hit that again? Stay back! It just won't die! Get back!
Fucked it.
Help!
Whoa!
That's all of them for now. You two okay?
Still breathing.
Aloy, Hephaestus can't escape, but it must have fled deeper into the facility. I'll drive it back here. I'll get the cracked core fixed in the meantime. Keep her safe, Varl.
On my life.
I gotta chase after Hephaestus. Force it out of wherever it's hiding. Make it retreat to the core.
Deactivate connection. Node 183.
Aloy, I'm patched into your focus feed.
You should know there's a huge power draw coming from the next chamber.
Thanks for the heads up. I'm almost there.
Aloy, I'm patched into your focus feed. You should know there's a huge power draw coming from the next chamber.
Thanks for the heads up. I'm almost there. It's some kind of production chamber. Hephaestus is up to something, all right?
What kind of machine is it trying to build?
I don't know, but I'm gonna shut it down. I bet those metal carriers will lead me to where it's getting materials from.
I bet that's where Hephaestus is hiding, too.
I gotta find where Hephaestus is hiding. Looks like there are a couple of ways I could go.
Deploy autonomous defenses to materials.
Machines are making a beeline for another chamber. I better follow them. Weird. They're not fighting back. Wherever they're going must be more important. Maybe Hephaestus changed their programming? Be able to catch.
Aloy, I've managed to rewire most of the components in the core, but the energy processor's cracked. Without a way to fabricate another, there's no way I can fix it.
Okay, let me think. I gotta find a way past this shield. Maybe there's a way over the shield. I should be able to catch a ride on one of those metal carriers. There's an opening at the top of the shield. I can get into that chamber if I go over the shield.
has to be a way to get past this shield. What, me?